Hi everyone. This is going to be the first page of the series, or the first episode of the series. I'm probably going to make a couple of videos and then I'll explain the why behind making these videos. Um, Hopefully, it's going to help everybody who gets into construction, any kind of construction management, whether you're working for a GC, working your way up the trades to become one of their estimators or even one of their project managers. Reading the construction documents is one of the key elements in making your life easier and communicating the thoughts needed to have that conversation with others run smoothly. It saves you time, saves you energy. Looking at something and saying, "Is this supposed to be here? What's missing?" And what am I even looking at? Um, the term reading construction documents, reading plans, outdated, and so with that outdatedness, it really comes from the previous forerunners using paper documents, and now the transition over to a lot of the digital plan documents is given a lot of other people opportunity to start diving into these documents and really understanding them, so that reading plans is no longer reading plans. It's how are you understanding plans and interpreting plans. So to me, right at this moment of where I'm at in my career and where I'm at in learning, is that there's three main levels of your conceptualization of construction documents, and one of those elements is specifically the construction sheets, the drawings, the sheets themselves that we're going to be looking at. Of course, the other construction elements would be the contracts, any PMP plans, the estimating department's proposal plan, and of course anything else thrown into there that's legally binding, spec book, the full range of construction elements. So the idea of reading plans, understanding plans, and interpreting plans is just a progression of basically reading the plans everybody can read. If you're at this level of even looking at construction documents, you have some kind of proficiency in reading the written language of whatever written language the documents are under. This one is English. Understanding plans is looking at any of these items and saying, I this information means something, and I know that I can look it up and kind of correlate these items, or I can remember where these items should be and then refer back to them later. These are all bits of information that have been needed on various other projects before your time, before my time, and are just the standard now of what should be on these documents. Interpreting plans. Now you're going to look at these items and know how they affect each other. How are they tying back into each other and making sense of why they're here and how they're going to later on affect each other, and how the trades are going to affect each other. And of course, not just the trades, but the architects, the engineers. How are they going to affect this project? This is just saying on this date, but on this page, but of course the other documents will say other things. The video's disclaimer is I'm not a licensed professional and these drawings are not intended for use of building structures. These are for educational and representational purposes only. In no way, shape, or form are you to use these drawings to actually build something. Any kind of building needs specific architectural each instance and building should require its own architectural and engineering to be done for that property. I've erased most or almost all information tying back these documents to the original project itself. What you're going to see is the information or data on these documents. No names and no pictures, no trademarks, no signatures will be on these documents. As you can see, most of it's been, or all of it's been erased. That from what I was talking about. Because usually, or looking at this particular cover page, the project name would have been here. That project number would have been here. The trademarks would be here. The stamps would be here with their information. More stamps, more information right here. That map would have shown you where it's located. You'll kind of see of course, the project name. Not dark enough. The project name would have been here. And somewhere on there it should have said construction documents. You should never use any kind of documents for building unless they say construction documents. You'll know. You will know. We'll find out. One of the main reasons for doing this is to provide you with the most amount of exposure possible to different looking, wording, sounding documents that you will see, because every architect does theirs differently. Some architects might not have this right here. Some might not even have this. They'll have these laid out depending on the needs of the project to look differently. Just depending on how they run their programs and what the owner wants to see, and it's their cover page. Every single one of these construction documents, these sheets, are going to be set up in the way that the architect prefers their information to be drawn out or written or said. You'll hear a lot in the industry that a lot of it is copy and paste at this point. A lot of the information's been out there for a long time. You know how to build something, you know how to build it. It's always got the same layers. Same thing with our construction documents. They used to be blue and on paper, now they're just online. Going a little further down, this particular cover sheet has that building summary, the square footage of those buildings and the total scope of that. For reasons that are determined by the project, maybe the contract was set up that way to state that this is the exact amount of square footage you would be demolishing or rebuilding or treating or whatever it is. So this is an important key information to the overall contract documents. Building codes, super important. This is one of the most important actually when it comes to building any kind of building. Because if you don't meet these codes, someone will shut you down, or they won't even let you start up. You're not getting a permit. Any kind of larger project, if you have a set of plans like these or like this, even if there's a cover page, you're gonna need a permit. This is not a home improvement, or you most likely are not gonna get a permit if you're just gonna be renovating. I don't know, giving your house a new set of painted coat. At least in Texas, I don't think you even need to state that you're doing electrical work. You should get a permit, but if it's a small piece of it, it's up to you if you want to get insured or not. So again, these building codes, if we're not following these, and you will need to be inspected depending on the presiding either county, state, local government that's regulating this area, and their standard of codes, building codes, they'll hold you by. So this is are you going to be able to use that building or not? Go forward, but you can't go back. So you've got a 2021, we're in 2025 right now. If they choose to use IBC code 2025, hey, that's good, even better. They cannot go back. You cannot go back to 2020. You cannot go back to 1990. You can't use lead in your buildings anymore. So that's one thing to note. The scope of work. This particular one does state the scope of work. On a capital project, that would probably not be stated right there, but because this project's smaller, it's easier to have more room on this front page, or maybe it was preference from the architect, or maybe standards that the owner wants to see on their front pages, yada yada, whatever reason it is. The scope of work, as you can read, the scope of work includes the renovation of the admin and facilities buildings work, including selected demolition, window replacement, exterior wall infill, renovation of interior spaces, new interior partitions, interior finishes, suspended acoustical ceiling, casework, interior and exterior doors, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, security work. So basically, in this project, this scope includes all of these types of work, depending if they're just painting a single door, or they're changing out the whole mechanical system, or they're putting in one camera. They are doing something related to this kind of work, this scope of work. Left. Now going to the left, we can see that vicinity map. They just wanted to show you where it was located. They would have the streets on here. Say you're down South Street and 10th Street. And the location is right here. It would say here, or location, or just kind of point to it. Just showing you exactly where it's located. This one particularly, they do work all over Texas, so they're going to have where they're located at on the state map. They're a large contractor, so they're constantly working throughout Texas. Going to the left, we're down to general notes. These general notes might not be on this page. They could be on a different page for this particular cover page. These general notes are on here. For larger projects, there might not be enough room for the general notes, but on this one there is general notes. This is where an architect will get you. This is where the engineer will get you. Whoever's creating these plans and working together for these plans, you have to read these general notes. If you're estimating, if you're actually constructing, these notes are what's missing in the drawings. Basically, I know everybody goes off of what's drawn, but the general notes will be what couldn't be drawn, what couldn't be shown in a picture. There's only so much room. There's only so much space. This is a 2D. I'm thinking, is this 2D or what? Oh yeah, XY 2D. A drawing is only a 2D space. They cannot show you the third dimension. We can't peek in and keep zooming in to find that third dimension. It's just not there. So we need those words. The general notes, you have to read them, and so we're going to read these so you can hear what they sound like. General notes. Work shall conform to the construction documents and all applicable building codes, including federal and state codes, ordinances, regulations, etc. Construction documents include civil, landscape, architectural, structural, MEP drawings, and specifications, plus any addenda to the aforementioned. Construction documents are intended to include items necessary to convey design intent of the work. Manufacturer's instructions shall be considered as part of the specifications, whether included or not in the specification manual. Periodic site visits by owners' representatives shall not be construed as supervision of means, methods, techniques, sequences, or procedures for construction, nor imply responsibility for providing a safe place for performance of work by contractor or contractor's employees, or employees of suppliers, or access visits for access, visits, use, work, travel, or occupancy by any person. Number 4, contractor shall verify dimensions and field conditions before proceeding. Notify architect of field conditions requiring deviations from construction documents before the construction of any modification. Provide adequate bracing and shoring as necessary until permanent supports and stiffeners are installed. Immediate repair or replace damaged. Immediate replace or damaged or defective work to the approval of and at no additional cost to the owner. Notify architect at appropriate inspection at critical. Notify architect and appropriate inspectors at critical construction milestones in order to obtain necessary approvals and inspections prior to commencement of subsequent work. Take responsible precautions for the safety of and provide reasonable protection to prevent damage, injury, or loss to employees of all other affected persons, all work materials and equipment. See other property at site and or adjacent thereto. Upon completion of the work, remove materials, tools, and equipment and leave site in a condition acceptable to the owner. And from there, you will have the architect, electrical, HVAC, and plumbing. Whoever designed these in the system will have their stamp here. It'll be stamped, signed, and then their information will be down here. Who they are, what company they are, and their contact information. The next step's going to go a little bit quicker because we already went through the basics of what we're looking at. Again, project name, what is it, construction documents, and then an image or two, or just one big one. Then you're going to have your building codes. What kind of codes are required for you to get your permit to open your building? You can only go forward, you cannot go back. That's just the standard requirements of how to build that certain system. depending on the materials you use, the processes and procedures, and the installation. The project name, again, is here. That project number, depending on what kind of architect you're working with, and or who's tracking this item. That'll be there. That index of drawings is again just every drawing that should be on this project or in these construction documents, in these sheets. If it is not here, it will not be in any other documents. So if you're missing any of these in the rest of your drawing set, you need to ask the architect and say, hey, where is that drawing? Or hey, this drawing's here but it's not there. This one's going to go a bit faster. Again, the title of that construction project, what it is, the image of what that rendering should look like. Maybe there's a couple images of the different sides of what it should look like. Always the outside of the building or outside of the intended complex structure. Project name, again, where it is, who is defining that project number is probably the architect or the owner. That's what's going to be on here. You're usually not going to have your trades project number or your general contractor's project number. Usually the owners, maybe the architect. Index of drawings, this is again every sheet that should be in this construction set. You got your cover sheets for your electrical. You have your structural right here. Again, looking at this, they're all going to be different, but if it's not in here, then it should not be in the rest of your sheets, and vice versa. If it's in the rest of your sheets but not in here, then something's wrong and that question needs to be asked. That's more on the GC side. But if you're in the trade and you're looking for something that's not in these sets and sheets, then it's not there, and you're going to have to ask the general contractor to find it for you. They can't find it, they'll send out an RFI. That scope of work coming towards the middle. Building codes. This one only has one code. There'll be other codes depending, what you're building. This one only cares about this. Again, you can only go forward. You cannot go back in the years. The scope of work. The project includes design, specify, and construct optional standby generator as defined by the National Electrical Code version 2020. For the new electrical service for the radio tower is also included in this project. That's what's going to be happening in this project. What the intended final outcome is going to or should be. Vicinity map. The location of the project is here, based on the roads in that area, and that's how you find it. This particular company does work all over Texas, and so they have it all broken up. They'll specify where. General notes, you need to read them. This one is the same as the last, is what it looks like. Did not read it. But if you don't want to be in a world of hurt later, I would read it. This is where your stamp is going to go for that engineer or that architect. This is where their information should be. They'll just have more stamps down here or whatever else. Logos will probably go right here. As far as who's involved, maybe it's a partnership between two owners, and they're constructing a certain building that they're both going to use. Whoever's paying the architect, basically. And another cover page. Where's our project name, the image, the site number, the building number, the project number. This one's a little different. They're including a different kind of information requested by the owner, most likely, and a way to track it. Your index of drawings. What are the drawings in these sheets? This one only has a couple. Building summary. Again, they decided to have the square footage on there. The building codes. They are going to tell you what is required on that building as far as you being able to get a permit, being able to pass inspections, down the scope of work. This project includes a new single-story administration building. For the building includes a public access training room, reception and waiting area, administrative offices and meeting rooms, break room, workroom, restrooms, and utility spaces. Keycard access will be provided to limit access to different parts of the building. The building will be located to the west of the existing district headquarters that will remain on the site. A new parking lot will be provided on the north and south sides of the building. The new facility will have an ornamental fence that surrounds it with a cantilevered gates on the north and south sides with keycard access. The scope of work. This is what the intended final outcome is supposed to be. These things. Vicinity map. Again, where is it located on the map? Who's stamping this off? Who's stamping this off? Looks like on this project, so you have your communication engineer, a civil engineer, a landscape engineer, a structural engineer, electrical engineer, HVAC and plumbing engineer, and an architectural engineer. They all need their own stamps to stamp off on their designs. Our next cover page, again, title of the project, image. We'll go over here. Project, they want the site, they want the building number, they want the project number. Index of drawings, refer to sheet geo for the. There's supposed to have been a big list. They got a lot going on with this project. So there's that many. It did not fit on this page. Again, if something does not fit on the front page, it will go to the next page. Your cover page is just going to be how the architect wants it set up. But most cover pages are going to have this main piece right in here. And then your stamps of who's signing off on these drawings to say, hey, this civil engineer, this landscape engineer, this structural engineer, this electrical engineer, this HVAC plumbing engineer, this fuel station engineer, this IT and security engineer, this electric vehicle charging engineer made these drawings, said that they would work with the intending building codes, and they're usable in the state of whatever you're in, of the county, of the city, of wherever you're in for the year that you're in, to say that these will work and get you a functioning system. So again, in extra drawings, too many sheets to list, so they had to put it on a different sheet. General notes looks like the same as our last one. So this owner, this architect, has the same general notes. When you go on multiple projects with the same architectural firm, you'll find that a lot of people do copy and paste, depending if it's the same owner and if it's the same architectural agency, and then say they like a certain GCs, or that GC keeps winning the bid, so and then that sub that they use keeps winning the bid, they're going to reuse certain items because things don't change. Building is a building. Your building codes, again, you can only go forward, you cannot go back. The scope of work. This project includes site work, utilities and septic systems, site lighting, security system, chain link, fencing and gates, site-wide generator, lawn irrigation and landscaping, asphalt, concrete drives, parking and striping, new fuel tanks and monitoring system, IT data systems, water recycling system, GPS monument, new maintenance office, shop and wash bay building, new equipment shed, new fuel island with canopy, and other items identified throughout the plans and specifications. They got a lot of small projects going on, most likely. That's why that drawing sheet is so long. You've got so many different systems going in these contract drawings that you're going to need a lot of code. You're going to need a lot of sheets telling everybody how to build that system, how its intended design is. Vicinity map, again, where it's located on maps, Google, Apple, whatever you want to say. Civil, landscape, structural, architectural, HVAC, plumbing, fuel station, IT security, electrical vehicle. These are the people that, again, are stamping off on these drawings. If you have someone down here and you have a drawing in there, that person signed off on it. Somebody signed off on it. Another cover sheet, again, project name at the top. Photo rendering of what the buildings is going to look like. Top right, the site. Looks like this is multiple sites on this project. It's just how the contract was packaged, and they must be smaller. So they just decided to throw it all into one single project. Bottom right, you got your index drawings. Oh, sort of middle right. Index drawings, electrical courses labeled with the E in front, plumbing is with the P in front. Back to the middle, you got your building codes, your scope of work, combine existing single-phase genset and three-phase genset to provide total site backup power. Combine existing, looks like this is generator work. They're going to be doing a bunch of generators. So we're just going to skip that. Vicinity map, where it's located on your map system. General notes, again, this is where they hold them. You accountable to. That's not included in the actual drawing of the structure. Got your stamps. Looks like it's going to be electrical and plumbing work. And that's what this cover sheet's going to look like. We've got this cover page. Again, this is where the title is going to be. Looks like we got a key plan on this sign. Where in that building that work is going to take place. You can consider that your rendering. Project name, this one's wanting a site number, building number, the project number, key information required by the owner. Index of drawings. We've got bathrooms, so accessibility details, code, life safety plan, demolition work, so we're going to be breaking stuff down. We got architectural work, so some of those finishes, a roof plan, some details, general plumbing risers, interesting. Demolition, okay, that's the plumbing demolition. Plumbing schedules. So they have plumbing. Oh, I'm looking at this wrong. Shit. Down here on the index, we've got our general. We got demolition. We got architectural. We got mechanical. We have plumbing, and we have electrical. Oh, and some hazardous material. Oh, okay. Something on the floor is considered hazardous now, so it's got to be removed and stored and thrown away properly by regulation. Yep. Renovation of men's restrooms in the equipment shop to be ADA compliant. This project includes asbestos abatement, provide per code toilet, urinal, shower, sink, and locker for 15 men users. Replace the existing window and install a new window matching the other windows in the facade. Replacing floor wall tiles, ceiling tiles, painting, and all other architectural related items as indicated. Provide all required architectural, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical items in compliance with associated codes. To provide non-polyisocyanated rigid and tapered insulation and new self-adhering modified bituminous roof system. I can't really miss it. To install new expansion joints per plan to replace the precast concrete splash pads at the bottom of each downspout with new concrete splash block and properly dispose of existing blocks. That's your scope. We've got some building codes here. Always got the building codes. Required. Got your building summary. Project location. This is where it's shown up in the map. Somewhere in Texas. General notes. This owner has the same general notes, so we're not going to go over them. Looks like we've got architectural, electrical, HVAC, and plumbing stamped drawings. So let's see. Mechanical, which is the HVAC plumbing. Electrical, we got electrical. And we got architectural right over there, left. Architectural, yep, everything's good. Okay, construction drawings, the name, title. Hopefully we get a rendering of what they're expecting or where in that building it's located, and kind of what we're supposed to be expecting. Top right, project number, site number, and a project number and a project address. This one has a couple items being done, so they wanted to label all of them. They must all have some kind of building number. The index of drawings has nothing in it. Where is it? Look at that little note. Refer to sheet. Refer to sheet. If you see anything that says refer to something else, you better go check it out because it will affect you somehow. So there's too many sheets to be listed here, so they went and put it on another sheet. It would be the next page, because we're in general 0.00, which is your cover page. So general 0.01 is just saying, it'd be that next sheet of G 0.00. Back to the middle. That scope of work, yep, a new single-story office building, new single-story lab storage building, a new single-story shop wash bay building, a new salt, sand, brine shed, new equipment sheds, 2 site improvements. So that's why there's too many sheets to list, because you've got a couple buildings here, each with different kind of intended systems and uses. So you're going to have a lot of different sheets for that. They wanted that square footage on there. They got it. Applicable codes. We only got a couple. Can only go forward. Cannot go back. Vicinity map. It is right here. It's in that location. General notes does not change. Same notes. Issued for bid. Looks like these ones went out for bid. So these are not the maybe they're probably not, but they were issued for bid. So they have to, when they're bidding something out, they got to send you something to go off of, and the more information they give you, the more precise your bid will be. But the less information they give you on how it's supposed to be constructed, the potential change orders that are come will increase. We got our stamps again. Stamp. We got an architect on this, of course. We got your civil structural, so that building is going up. We're going to need someone to say, hey, if you pour this concrete, you put this rebar in there, you put these walls in there, it will hold. MEP technology, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and technology. Not so used to saying them on the same stamp. Mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and then they got technology. Landscaping, architect, or engineer, sorry. And yeah, let's cover